Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Taryn, and let's talk about modern werewolves for the modern format. This is, of course, closing in on Halloween, and let's get spooky. So modern werewolves and werewolves in general are sort of the archetype deck where it's like, it kind of just isn't there yet, but you can get some good situations and make a rather competitive deck for some good tabletop stuff, some good stuff for casual play, but this is definitely not a tier 1 deck, probably not even a tier 2 deck, but it is a tier fun deck, and that's why we're talking about it today. So the Modern Werewolves deck list I've built is more about being aggressive. We have 29 creatures in here, a Planeswalker, some removal, and of course some good stuff in the sideboard as well. So let's jump into the deck list and get started. Alright, as always guys, the deck list is going to be right below me. The cards are going to be right to the right of me, or left of me, your right, my right, your left, there we go. And I'm actually going to be showing the card as it is, and then the flip card as well, so that way we can kind of see what happens if the card does flip. Keep in mind, the Werewolf cards are all about this ability right here, which Reckless Wave has. It's the only ability that she has. She's a 1-mana 1/1, but at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast this turn, transform Reckless Wave. So this is really taking advantage of like control decks, mid-range decks, really early game threats like Reckless Wave here, by making sure your opponent doesn't actually get out their strategy as soon as possible. You're playing out your cards and you're kind of sitting for a turn, and if they don't do anything on their turn, then our creatures flip and they're a huge threat. So this one can turn into a 3/2, and again, whenever they flip into werewolves, at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Merciless Predator back into, of course, Reckless Wave. But getting those 2 triggers off is usually not like feasible sometimes in the middle of a match against an opponent. Most of the time in the mid to late game, they really just run out of spells to be able to do this, because you're kind of giving them a clock to make sure they play their spells out. So against control, this is a very good mechanic. Against mid-range, this is a very good mechanic. Against aggro, this is really difficult to kind of like combat, because they're being as fast as you are. So the best thing about us here though is that we have a lot of lords in the deck list that can help kind of make these 1/1s into 2/2s, into 3/3s, and so on. Reckless Wave is alright though, so let's get into the next one. We've got Village Messenger, a 1 red mana 1/1 with haste. Same ability here on the flip. Like this a lot more because of course it's a hasty, but when it flips it turns into a 2/2 with Menace, which is even better, and this has really good midterm, or not midterm, mid to late game potential, getting around any kind of big like Celestial Colonnade and control, or a big bomb against their board state. Next up for us, we've got Wolf-Bitten Captive. A lot of 1-drops in here for us, but this is the last one. A 1 mana 1/1. You can pay 2. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. So this is a great ability because you can activate it on your turn and your opponent's turn on the block, which is very good. And when it does flip, it turns into a 2/2. You can pay 4 and give it +4/+4, making it a 6/6 attacking in. And again, it's the same ability, so once each turn, so once during your turn or your opponent's turn if you have the mana. Very, very powerful card. This is the card if you play on turn 1, they definitely want to bolt it or path it or push it, or all those other cards that do lots of removal. Next up here for us, we've got a card called Duskwatch Recruiter, a fantastic card since we have 29 creatures in the deck list. A 2 mana 2/2, you can pay 3, look at the top 3 cards of your library, you may reveal a creature card from among them and put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And of course, if no spells were cast this turn, you can flip it. Now that doesn't count for the spell like playing Duskwatch Recruiter as it does for the rest of the werewolves here. If you play it and then you just pass turn, it doesn't flip then, it has to be the next turn. So just making sure you guys understood that. But when it does flip, that turns into a 3/3. Creature spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast, and of course if you cast 2 spells it flips back. I really enjoy Duskwatch Recruiter here because it's a 2 mana 2/2, which is already pretty decent, but paying 3 and being able to dig for creatures, and because this is such a creature heavy deck, this is all about this card right here basically. If opponent doesn't deal with this card, again, just like how it doesn't deal with the Captive or the Messenger or the Wave, if they don't deal with our threats hitting the battlefield, then they're going to be in for a world of hurts. And of course this turns into a 3/3 that makes everything cheaper, and you know, getting out as many creatures as you can in a turn is what this deck is all about. Next up here for us, we've got Mayor of Averbrook. This is a 2 mana 1/1, a Human Advisor Werewolf. Other human creatures you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast this turn, transform it, and you transform it of course. Other werewolf and wolf creatures you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. So a lot of stuff is going on with this card. and it's a fantastic turn to play for you. Being able to pump your entire board state if your werewolves are not flipped yet is very good, very potentially painful to your opponent's life total and to their board state. But when it does flip, it turns into a 3/3 that gives you the ability to pump all other werewolves, but also make a 2/2 that is actually pumped by the alpha itself. So very powerful. This is a card that like can just run over your opponent if they do not have a removal spell for it immediately. So very good card there for us, and something that can continue to kind of push us into the win there. Next up for us, we've got Metallic Mimic. Now this is one of the few cards that's not a werewolf in the actual deck list here, but it can become one. A 2-mana 2/1. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Metallic Mimic is the chosen type in addition to its other types, and each other creature you control with the chosen type enters the battlefield when an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Now one of the things is you can either name werewolf or human. If you want the mayor pump on the board state for the Metallic Mimic, you want to name human because they do come in as humans. That's more of a makes more sense to that point. You could also say werewolf as well because it says human werewolf on most of the werewolves in our deck list. So I would normally name human, or if you want to just do werewolf, that's fine too. Either way, it's a very good card for us because it's a lord whenever we bring stuff into the battlefield, but the counter stays on the creature for the rest of the game, and that can make a lot of stuff like the Reckless Wave, the Messenger, those 1/1s turning into 2/2s, and then when they flip, they keep that counter as well. So it's a lot of good stuff going on top of our board state that just, again, kind of pushing us towards being an overwhelming presence to our opponent. Next up here for us, we've got one more lord here in Immerwolf, a 3-mana 2/2 with Intimidate. And Intimidate is this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. Other wolf and werewolf creatures you control get +1/+1, and non-human werewolves you control can't transform, which means if something does transform, it doesn't transform back, which is super important in the mid to late game. Immerwolf is a card that opponents really need to remove as soon as they see it, and of course it's got that amazing Therese Nielsen art on it as well. Last card in here for creatures is Instigator Gang, a 4-mana 2/3. Attacking creatures you get or you control get +1/+0, and when it flips, it turns into Trampler 5/5. Attacking creatures you control get +3/+0. There's only really a one of in this deck list here. The Instigator Gang is a great card. It's definitely a card that if you cast it, it might get countered immediately, it might get removed immediately, but it's such a good card that just like if you play it and all of the creatures that you are attacking in with get that +1/+0 ability, and if it does flip, it's basically game over because it's giving +3/+0 to your entire board state, which is completely back-breaking. And that's all the creatures in the deck list. Again, 29 in total. Let's move on to our Planeswalker, which is just a one, or actually a 2 of here. But it's kind of an interesting card for us. We've got Domri Raid. Now, this is not necessarily a Planeswalker that I would necessarily say it's amazing, but because we have so many creatures in the deck list, the +1 here is not bad. So 3-mana 3 loyalty. +1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. And since we have, most of our deck, almost half of our deck being creatures, this is going to happen more than likely. -2, target creature you control fights another target creature, so very good for removal if we have a flipped werewolf. And -7, you get an emblem with creatures you control, have double strike, trample, and hexproof, and haste, which is mind-blowingly powerful. Of course, it takes 4 turns to get there, so getting off the -7 there is not likely most of the time. So we're really going to be using the +1 and the -2 to kind of get value for our board state, and then of course remove a creature on our opponent's side of the field, because Domri Raid just kind of does it that way. But also the best part about Domri Raid is that he is 3 mana, so he can come out pretty quickly and kind of start setting up the cycle of being able to get out a lot of creatures onto the battlefield very quickly. But that's it for Planeswalkers. Let's move on to our spells here. We've got, of course, one Moonlight Hunt. We have another one in the sideboard. A 2-mana instant. Choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf deals damage equal to its power to that creature. So if we have a lot of wolves and werewolves on the battlefield, this can do potentially 4, 5, even 6 points of damage to an opponent's creature, and it's at instant speed, which means that they play a big 6/6. We're just going to go and destroy it immediately. Moonlight Hunt is a very powerful card in that respect. And moving on, because we are red, we're going to play 4 Lightning Bolt. Just a simple card in the deck list. A 1 red mana instant, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Very easy, very simple. And yeah, it definitely gets the job done for us in red. But that's it for all these spells and the creatures and the Planeswalkers. Let's move on to our lands really quickly. We've got, of course, 6 Forest, 6 Mountain, and then 4 Stomping Ground, 4 Wooded Foothills, And 4 Cavern of Souls is actually in the list here. I don't know why it's not showing on my list, but we have 4 Cavern of Souls as well. That's one of the most expensive cards in the deck list. I think it's actually the most expensive set in the deck list. Yeah. I'm not sure why it's in there. I'll put it, I'll After Effects it on top of that. There we go. But that's going to be it for our deck list. We have 24 lands in total. And then moving on to the sideboard, let's see what we have. We have Tormod's Crypt here, a 0-mana artifact. Tap it, sacrifice it, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. So very good against Reanimation, very good against Hollow One, very good against anything with like this using Delve. Very good against you know, just the Bloodghast, the Phoenixes, all that fun stuff in the modern format at the moment. Next up, we've got Alpine Moon. This is good against multiple things. Tron is usually the target for this card, but it's also pretty good against the control decks as well because of Celestial Colonnade. A red mana enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose a non-basic land card name. Lands your opponent control with the chosen name lose all land types and abilities, and they gain, you can add 1 mana of any color. So this is usually turning off a man land like a Raging Ravine, a Celestial Colonnade for us, or if we're playing against Tron, it's turning off a Tron land, and they really can't do anything about it in game 1, which is super, or game 2, which is super good for us. Moving on, we've got Ancient Grudge here against Affinity, against any kind of large threat on the battlefield. It's a 2-mana instant, destroy target artifact with flashback with 1 green. Very good card for us. This is really coming in against like an Ensnaring Bridge kind of deck, those kind of things. Krark Clan Ironworks, those kind of stuff. Just very good all around for that. Feed the Clan is here for us as a 2-mana instant. We gain 5 life or 10 life if we control a creature with power 4 or greater. It's also instant speed spell, so this is really here against the aggro matchup where we really just need to like last like 1 more turn because they're kind of coming in recklessly too. And so Feed the Clan is coming in to kind of give us another turn so we can close out that match. Next up for us, we've got 1 more Moonlight Hunt, good removal for us. And then Moon Mist here, a 2-mana instant, transform all humans, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures other than werewolves and wolves. Very good card for us. This is here for the more like creature-based decks, the more mid-rangey decks. Bringing this in, probably over a Moonlight Hunt and a Domri Raid, kind of making sure that we can get in that final point of damage against their board state. And of course, if they're lightning bolting all of our stuff, or not even that, they're just, you know, blocking much of their stuff with large creatures, we can definitely Moon Mist, make our creatures larger, and, you know, prevent damage to us. Next up here, we've got Huntmaster of the Fells, probably one of the best werewolves in our sideboard here. A 4-mana 2/2 human werewolf. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield, and you gain 2 life. And of course, when it flips, it turns into a 4/4 with trample. And when this creature transforms into a Ravager of the Fells, it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage up to 1 target creature that player controls. So very good removal on this side. And of course, when it flips back, it gives you another 2/2, and you know, just gaining 2 life, which is nice. So it has this kind of like constant ability going on here for you in the sideboard. This is again coming in for the mid-range decks, the more creature-based decks. This is also pretty good against control if you can get it down, because it can continually do things over and over again, which is very good, and very bad for control because they're trying to struggle to get stuff off the board state with their Turbinuses, their Cryptic Commands, that kind of stuff. And Huntmaster of the Fells is going to hopefully help us kind of get more creatures out there and do more damage in a single turn. But that is the full 75. If you want to build this on MPGO Traders, it's coming to about 140 tickets, and if you want to build this in paper, it's coming to about 550 bucks. And the reason, of course, is because of those Cavern of Souls. It's about 314 bucks for those Cavern of Souls, and that's really ridiculous. Also, of course, Stomping Ground and Wooded Foothills are about 160 bucks respectively, which is obnoxious. Everything else in the deck is, you know, about a buck or two, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, that kind of stuff. Metallic Mimic being the 20 bucks if you want to complete 4 of in that deck. But yeah, I really wish Cavern of Souls would get a reprint because that's too expensive to me. But, you know, of course, if you want to add something else like a Buddy Land or just, you know, Field of Ruin or something like that instead of Cavern of Souls, you can definitely do that and bring the price down significantly. You know, $300 basically in paper and about 78 tickets online, bringing it down to under 100 tickets as well. The only reason Cavern of Souls is in here is, of course, against that control matchup where, you know, they do counter a lot of our stuff. We want to make sure that our stuff is coming in uncounterable, and that's what Cavern of Souls is all about. But that's it for the deck guys. Let's get into the matches and see how this deck performs. Alright guys, let's get into the matches and see how Modern Werewolves does, again, in the modern format. Opening hand has 4/5 lands. We're actually going to go with a keep here because of the Recruiter and Inner Wolf. And of course, Cavern of Souls. We don't really know what we're up against, so we'll see. Polluted Delta could be a control deck. Gonna go for a Duskwatch Recruiter on turn 2 pass. Will we see a fetch land crack for a Fatal Push? Delta, ooh, tapped land. Okay, cool. Most of the time when I see a Delta, I'm seeing a Fatal Push immediately after. They're going to go for a Prism there. Going to go for a green mana and then an Werewolf, and then just get in for 3 here. Keep in mind the Werewolf pumps Wolf and Werewolves, and that's of course a Werewolf, so getting in for 3 is pretty nice. Captive on the top as well is pretty good. They didn't do anything, so they actually get the Howler to flip, which is very good. Let's crash in for 6 here, drop them down to 10, and play out the Captive. Can opponent really recover from this? Sword of the Meek here into a Thopter Foundry. Alright, I know they're on here, but I feel like we just win that match. So let's get into game 2. That's one of the things about Modern is sometimes you can just come out of the gates blazing and demolish your opponent. But it doesn't happen all the time, just most of the time. Alright, opening hand is pretty decent for us. We've got 2 Stomping Grounds. Tap land for the opponent. Going to go for a Village Messenger and pass turn here with an attack. Thankfully the Messenger has haste. 7 cards in hand for the opponent. Going to go Watery Grave, tapping for that. Going for a Prism. Let's go for a green mana and go for a Captive and another Captive, and then just get in for 1 again. Trying to get out as many creatures as we can before they give us the pass on the turn. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. Ghost Quarter, tapping out for a Tezzeret. Interesting, making a 5/5 here. Alright, we're going to see what we can do here. So we have enough to maybe go with a Lightning Bolt if we trade. Let's attack in here. Gonna pump that one and kill the 5/5. And then drop Tezzeret down to 1. Did that because we wanted to make sure that they lost their artifact. This is some weird artifact list. This is a Thopter Foundry list, obviously, so it's a list that's going to be making a lot of stuff. Making a 5/5 there. Removing their Tezzeret. Playing a land. Instigator, Gang, or Mayor are both pretty good plays here. Going to name Mimic and pass turn. 3 cards in hand for the opponent. They're laying an Inventor's Fair. Tapping out for, ooh, Ensnaring Bridge. Oh no. This hurts us quite a bit. Now, the Gang is actually a good way to get around Ensnaring Bridge, but this does mean that we're kind of stuck here. We can attack out and make, you know, some damage go through, but we would lose some creatures. 3 cards in hand for the opponent. Going down to a Mox Opal. 2 cards in hand. What we have. War of Invention here. 1 card in hand, so none of our creatures can attack. Village Messenger. We have the Mayor that can attack, but that's really nothing. So this is the point in the match where we're kind of considering whether or not to concede because of the Ensnaring Bridge play here. We're kind of just waiting it out. We want to play a creature because we want to make sure that our werewolves do not flip for the turn. If there goes a... It's a Sword of the Meek here and a Thopter Foundry kind of combo here, making lots of Thopters. Sacrificing Sword of the Meek. Makes sense. Getting some life again with Inventor's Fair. So they're kind of going off on their combo here, and really unfortunate because of that Ensnaring Bridge. One of the few cards in Modern right now I feel like has more Legacy impact than it does Modern impact. Very powerful. Everything is flipping, so nothing is... having the ability to attack here. We have a Captive off the top, so we just play that out. But at this point in the match, we probably should just concede. There's really nothing we can do other than just kind of see if they draw into anything that's important. We could also draw into maybe some Lightning Bolts for that Thopter Foundry. But time right there is coming in, so they sacrifice 5 artifacts, take an extra turn after this turn. And that's going to do it, probably. I'm just kind of watching the combo happen now. This is one of the cool things about the Thopter Foundry deck is they can build it to where they're just making a massive army with the artifact over there that gives them extra turns. This is the point in a combo deck where you just kind of walk away. You're like, oh, all right, they're just doing their stuff. You know, that's fine. And then they're going to take a turn after this, so... So much fun. 1 card in hand for the opponent. We're just going to go to concede here and probably just get into game 3 and try and make sure we bring in the Ancient Grudge to get rid of those artifacts. Yeah, let's go to game 3. All right, let's just hit some in here. We had Ancient Grudge in from the first game, so gonna keep that. Village Messenger attacking for 1. Let's see, 8 cards in hand for the opponent. Tap land. Ancient Grudge off the top isn't bad. Let's get in for 1 here and transform the Messenger. Could have played the Waif, but want to be a little bit more aggressive, holding up that Lightning Bolt. Prism coming in for the opponent. They're passing turn back. Let's go Bolt on their instep and go for Waif here, and then get in for 2. Drop down to 11. We'd love a land off the top for that Werewolf. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. Another land. Pithing Needle here. Interesting what they're going to do with this. Naming Moonrise Intruder. Interesting. Ooh, and destroying Reckless Waif there. It does flip the Messenger back as well. We have the Village Messenger and Ancient Grudge. We're just going to go with the Messenger again and get in for 2 here. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. Going with a Mox Opal into, let's see, a War of Invention. Ensnaring Bridge off the top there. 1 card in hand for the opponent. We're going to save that Ancient Grudge because they have 1 card in hand, so the Messengers can continue to attack in here. Going to make sure that, you know, we're going to use the Ensnaring Bridge as a way to trick our opponent into a false sense of security. So that way, when we do attack in for lethal, we can just destroy the Ensnaring Bridge with an Ancient Grudge. 2 cards in hand for the opponent now. Looks like another War of Invention coming out. Yep, for 2. Going Sword of the Meek here. Stomping Ground, we're going to say yes to that, probably. Yeah. And then attack in here. Going to pump with the Captive. Now, this does mean our creatures do flip, but we do have lethal this coming turn, and we have Ancient Grudge in our hands, so if they don't play another Ensnaring Bridge, then we have this game. Going for a Tezzeret here. They did a plus on Tezzeret, so that actually means that our creatures do flip back down. We're going to go with a land and go for an Ancient Grudge onto Ensnaring Bridge here, and then just attack in by pumping the Captive, getting in for 5 points here. Very nice. Good closeout to that match there. All right, let's get into match 2 here and see what we can do. Always love a good artifact deck that has good combo potential, so that was a fun match. 4 land in our hand with a Dustwatch Recruiter and Werewolf again. Let's keep that and get into a new, let's see, Aether Vial here. Okay, could be a heavy creature-based strategy. Gonna go Recruiter here and pass turn. 6 cards in hand for the opponent, drawing into their 7th. Misty Rainforest, another Aether Vial. Let's go with a Mountain into an Werewolf and then get in for 3. Down to 17 here. Seeing an Overgrown Tomb coming in tapped. Aether Vial ticking up to 2 and 1. Not really sure what this deck list is just yet. Forest. Looks like maybe an Eldrazi like Link deck. Let's go with the Mare here. Messenger. And we have Lightning Bolt for the Displacer. Let's hit in here. You let that happen. We're going to go instep and not going to worry about them using the Displacer because they need colorless mana. Aether Vial up to 3 and 2. Field of Ruin does give them colorless mana here. So good protection. Flicker Wisp from their side of the field. Linking our Mayor. Ooh, and Wasteland Strangler. So this is an ability where they can actually grab something from the exile and put it into the graveyard. So the Mayor does die here, which is unfortunate. And of course, it does that as well if you do that. We'll get rid of both of our lords here. I'm gonna save that Lightning Bolt. Hit a Mayor off the top, which is very good. Could use Dustwatch Recruiter to dig a little bit for creatures, but we're going to attack in here and see how they're going to block. They're blocking there. We're going to get rid of that Displacer and get in for 3. Down to 6. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. This is at the point of the match where they're kind of getting close to where they're out of gas. Windswept Heath here coming in for them. Looks like they're going to pass turn, maybe. Yeah, pass and turn, everything flips. Very nice. Let's see what we draw. Messenger off the top, no problem. Let's get in for 4 and 3. One of them has Menace. Windswept Heath sack. Do we see a Fatal Push? Overgrown Tomb. Field of Ruin, okay. They're just doing things now, I see. Alright, Aether Vial coming in with a Knight of the Reliquary. That's what it is, okay. 5/5 right now. They have to double block the 3/3 there. Everyone forgets what Menace does. I'm not sure why, but everyone does that. They're blocking this way, which is fine. We destroyed 2 of their creatures. And we get a 3/3 thanks to the alpha. They're at 5, so a full-on attack next turn is actually really good for us. Granted, if they have a creature in their hand, then it won't be great. Messenger does flip for us, which is quite good. And another Messenger off the top. Very nice. Let's just get in for 3, 3, and 2. This is lethal. 3 with Menace, and 2... There we go. Yeah, nice. Could bring in Ancient Grudge for those Aether Vials. Let's do Huntmaster of the Fells instead. Take out Domri Raid. Let's do Moonlight Hunt for that Knight of the Reliquary and take out a Waif. The issue with the Aether Vial is it's okay. It's not an amazing card to like just bring in hate for. Because more often than not, that's the only artifact in their entire deck list, which means that the artifact hate isn't that important to us. Double Hierarch for the opponent there. Let's just go for a Messenger and hit in for 1. Down to 16 already, thanks to the Temple Garden and Windswept Heath. Concealed Courtyard with the Hierarch here. Tapping out for a Knight of the Reliquary. It's a 3/3. Very strange that the opponent did that. Gonna go with a Lightning Bolt there. And just get in for 1. Early game Knight of the Reliquary is usually, you know, we want to remove that as soon as possible. 3 cards in hand with a pass. Our Messengers do flip, and the Waif does flip. Let's go with the Hope Hierarch hit, and then just get in for 5. Gonna save our creatures here for the turn. Eldrazi Temple, 3 cards. Flicker Wisp on the opponent. Gonna Flicker Wisp our Moonrise Intruder. Does come back as Village Messenger. Mayor off the top for us. Very nice. Let's get in for 2 and 3. They're gonna block the 3/2. The Flicker Wisp, go down to 8. Could play the Messenger if we want to, but we don't want to lose our 2/2 Menace creature. Alright. Tide Hollow. Coming in, grabbing a creature. Not a great thing for us. Let's get in here for 2. 4. Yeah, blocking there. Going down to 6, giving us back our Duskwatch Recruiter. That's going to do it. Nice. We just kind of out-tempoed them there, which is very good. They just didn't get their Aether Vial in as quickly as they should have. So 4 lands with a Mayor, Duskwatch Recruiter, and Domri Raid. I like this hand because of the, again, the Recruiter and Domri Raid. Domri Raid being one of the best cards in the hand here. Ancient Grudge, ooh, or Ancient Stirrings, not Grudge, Ancient Stirrings. Is this a Tron list? What is this? Saw an Overgrown Tomb there. Every time I see Ancient Stirrings, I kind of cringe because I'm thinking of an Eldrazi list. Let's go with a Mayor. This tells me that they may have a slow deck with the Ancient Stirrings, so they may just be laying lands and passing. Oh no, Eldrazi Mimic. Okay. Another Eldrazi list. Let's go with the Duskwatch Recruiter here and go with a Lightning Bolt and just get in for 1. We're trying to be a little safe with that play there. Assassin's Trophy on the Mayor. That's a fair play. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. They're going to pass. Let's go Wooded Foothills, sack that, grab a land. And just go Domri Raid. +1. Get that recruiter into our hand, play it, and then get in for 2. 4th land drop for the opponent, coming in tapped. Matter Reshaper there. Instigator Gang is very good here for us. I'm just gonna go +1 first. See what's on the top here. Werewolf is very good also. Both of these are good situations for us. I think Werewolf would be a little bit better. Both of them are quite good here. We're gonna go Gang just in case if they get a flip next turn. Let's get in for 3-2. We're gonna block one of these, no problem. Ghost Quarter for them. Pass turn. 5 cards in hand for the opponent here. Another Ancient Stirrings. Grabbing Eldrazi Temple. So this is definitely an Eldrazi list. They're trying to pump up to an Eldrazi. Adventurous Impulse. Ooh, Reality Shaper. Or Smasher. Alright, it's a 5/5. Let's look at the top here. Werewolf. Let's go with a Werewolf. Now we just wanted to play Werewolf into Werewolf. Because this does mean that we'll have a large board state capable of being able to trade that Reality Smasher. This is a 5/4 attacking in. Do you want to trade? You do. Okay, cool. Whew. Dangerous. Another Assassin's Trophy, getting rid of that gang. Another Assassin's Trophy, maybe? What are we seeing? Yep. Grabbing a land for us. And an Eternal Scourge coming in as a 3/3. Reckless Waif. Wooded Foothills was the show there for us. I'm going to go with probably a Reckless Waif play here, maybe. Looking at Dami Raid's emblem here. Let's just pass turn. This does mean their Waif does flip into a 4/3. Mimic for the opponent. Passing turn. Let's just go with an emblem here with a Dami Raid. Giving all of our creatures Double Strike, Trample, Hexproof, and Haste. Let's go Waif and, you know, just be insane here with our attack. But they're going to scoop it up. Actually, scoop up the entire match. That was a solid scoop there. Opponent was not ready for that Dami Raid ability there. That's funny. Windswept Heath. Land for us into a Messenger. Pretty good opening hand for us as well. Down to 18. Flooded Strand for the opponent. Dustwatch Recruiter. This looks like maybe a... I don't know, Humans list maybe? Hollowed Fountain into a Path. Here come the Paths. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. Playing a land here, going for a Crucible of Worlds. Okay. Let's get in for 2 here. Flooded Strand once again. Let's go with a land drop into just an attack here. Path, no problem. Saving our alpha there, or the pack there, to see if they had, like, a Settle the Wreckage or something. Tapping out for a Phantasmal Image. Interesting. Now, one of the things I misplayed here is Moonlight Hunt should be targeting the image right there, but I wait a turn until our turn, saying, okay, well, it probably would be a better idea to do it this way instead. This does mean the pack does flip. But we get in for quite a bit of damage here, and opponent scoops it up. Very nice. Taking out Dami Raid here. Bringing in another Moonlight Hunt, as we saw those images. Putting in is 2 lands with a 1-drop, 1-drop. Ooh, and a land off the top. Very nice. Let's go for that. All the fetch lands. And go for a Messenger attack in for 1. Field of Ruin for the opponent. Going with an Elder here. Keep in mind, if they have an Elder, they're always going to sack it, so you basically have, you know, your creatures are unblockable. They'll be blocked, obviously, so they're just not going to die. They're not going to trade if they're 1/1s. Because they're always going to sack it for that land. Another Elder there. Let's use that bolt on there. They hit 6, so they actually didn't get the land off that. Let's go Werewolf here. Get in for 4 if we can. Perhaps they have a bolt or a path up. They do not. Down to 14 for the opponent here. Eternal Witness. Grabbing an Elder. Another Windswept Heath. And we're going to go with a Stomping Ground here. Come in untapped. Werewolf, and then Captive. And then get in for 6. Down to 10. You'll notice that with the Werewolves, I try to not attack with them, even if it is an opportunistic attack for us. Not sure why I do that so much, but I do. Eternal Witness from Sun Titan here. Grabbing a Flooded Strand. Waif, okay. Let's just get in for everything. Nice! Scoop for them. Very good. Alright, getting into match 5 here. Let's see what we can do. Opening hand is not bad at all. We see an island, so we know it's control. Let's go with a Reckless Wave here. Pass turn. Plains, okay, so this could be Azorius control, you never know. Getting our Predator up to a 3-2 here. Get in for damage if we can. Opt from the opponent. Do we see a path? Show me path. There it is. Let's go for a land there and go Dustwash Recruiter. Ooh, Celestial Colony. This is control. Boo. Path again. Alright, thanks to our deck having so many creatures, we're just going to be top decking creatures forever, so. Spell Snare. Ugh. Let's go with a Captive here. Holding up a Bolt. 4 cards in hand for the opponent here. What are they going to do? Hollowed Fountain coming in tapped. Looks like a pass here, flipping our Captive. Turning it into a 2-2. Very nice. Waif off the top for us. Let's get in for damage if we can. Snapcaster Mage from the opponent here. And they're going to, of course, pick a Path to Exile. We're going to bolt the Snappy. But they're going to path our guy. Because that's what control is all about. Playing a waif and passing turn here. We've had creatures basically every single turn, and they've had, you know, removal every turn. Telling time from the opponent here. It's going to help them kind of dig for more answers. Field of Ruin. Domri Raid is a fantastic hit for us. Awesome. It does come in countered. Mayor for that. Let's get in for 2. Domri Raid is really great against the control deck here because it helps us kind of elongate the match, which is exactly what we want to do here. Now we just got to see if the opponent has anything to last the match. Snap into Path again. Yep. You know they have it. Land off the top into a Dustwatch Recruiter. Let's get that out. Let's just start using Recruiter here. Grab a Mayor. Play a Mayor. One more Recruiter. Grab another Mayor. Alright. Let's get in for 2 here if we can. I don't mind trading here. Just to get stuff out of the way. Terminus off the top? No! Okay. Pass out for our Domri Raid. Metallic Mimic into Mayor is not terrible. This does make the Mayor a 2-2. 1 card in hand for the opponent. Land drop. Into Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay. They're gonna... Let's see. Yeah, 0. They pick a card. We have Messenger here. So, let's just go for a hit here on Jace and their life total. And see if they have something. Another Snappy. This is literally just a block for Jace there. Draw 3 again. Oh, Jace. Ooh, control. Let me win. That's all I want to do. It's like I've been putting up a really good fight against this control list. Instigator gang is really good. They don't have enough mana for that Celestial Colonnade animation yet. Do they have? Okay, Crypt Command and tap down. Alright. Yeah, now we're in kind of a loop, but thanks to Jace. Giving them a lot of value here. Field of Ruin coming in and 1 card in hand. This does mean the Intruder does flip. Let's go Mayor off the top. Flooded Strand from the opponent here. What do you got? What do you have? What do you have? Of course, this is the part where we want to attack in with a Moonrise Intruder to Jace the Mind Sculptor. Because it is a 3/3 with Menace, so it can kill Jace. Logic not from the opponent. We don't have enough here. We have 8, not 9. We still get to kill Jace, though. 1 card in hand. They're going to go with a pass. Reckless Waif off the top for us. Let's get in for 3 with Menace. Down to 8. Can we do it? 2 cards in hand. Waif does flip. Let's get in for 3. For 3. Opt from the opponent here. Down to 5. Wooded Foothills grabbing a land. Just kind of thinning our deck a little bit. Let's see. Oh, we get it! Nice! Huh. Control matchups are always the hardest for us. We could bring in Tormod's Crypt. We could bring in Alpine Moon. Both of those are pretty good against a control matchup. Took out Moonlight Hunt there. Let's bring in 2 Alpine Moons here. Take out a Bolt and hit Submit. See what we're working with here. 4 lands, Messenger, Bolt, and Recruiter. A little bit of a land-heavy hand. Werewolf off the top isn't bad. Let's go Cavern here and get in for a Messenger, and get it for 1. 6 cards in hand, 7 cards, Flooded Strand, down to 6 again. Passing turn. Messenger does flip. So very nice there. Let's go for a Mountain here. Get in for 2 if we can. There's a Flooded Strand. Do we see Path here? Celestial Purge. So that's probably a sideboard card they brought in. Let's go for a Recruiter pass turn. Flooded Strand going for another land on their turn. Tapping out for a Detention Sphere. Alright. This is one of the blind spots of our deck list here. Is in the sideboard we don't have any enchantment hate, so it could be something you want to do with the deck list to tweak it. Celestial Colonnade coming in tapped. Let's go for a Waif here. Land drop and hit in for 2. Down to 15. Opt from the opponent. Telling time. So all we have to do really is if we can get into just a creature, that, if our draws are that would be amazing. Because all we're trying to do is overwhelm our opponent now. Land drop from the opponent here. This does flip the Waif, turning into a 4/3. We hit a land off the top again. This needs 5 mana. Again, combat. They're going to go with a Cryptic Command here. Draw a card. Really unfortunate. Hit a land for a Terminus. They're hard casting a Terminus. Wow. Okay. Stomping Ground for us. Sure. This is the point of the match where we're kind of out of steam. An opponent can start taking over. There's Teferi. Yeah. This game is over. Drawing with Teferi here, untapping some lands. Playing another land, untapped. Going for a search. Yeah, we're going to scoop it up. Let's get into game 3 here and see what we can do. So, could bring in our 3rd Alpine Moon, or something else. Or just hit Submit. Let's try one more time. Alpine Moon in our opening hand is really good. That Colonnade. 2 Recruiters and a Messenger. Also very good. Let's go Wooded Foothills here. Thin our deck a little bit with a land. And go for Messenger. Hit in for 1. Not bad. Planes from the opponent here. Let's go for Werewolf on Cavern of Souls. Get in for 2. Then play a Recruiter. Path to Exile on that Recruiter. They always have it. If you don't think they have it, you're a fool. Let's go Wooded Foothills, sack that, and go for a Forest here. And get in for 2 Menace. And then play a Recruiter once again. Opt from the opponent. 6 cards in hand. 7 cards in hand. Terminus. No! Terminus is probably my least favorite card in the control decks right now, especially if you have a creature-based deck. You just can't get around it, and that's one of the hardest parts. You just can't deal with it. Nice. Go for a mountain. We're saving this Alpine Moon as a play to whenever they play out a Colonnade. Just to hold stuff in their hand for a while. And drawing into so much land like this is really bad for us because it's meaning our opponent is getting really good positioning. Domri Raid for us. We're going to try and get this out if we can. It does hit. Messenger off the top is nice. Get in for 1. It does hit as well. Very good. Flooded Strand. Celestial Purge. Ouch. There's a Colonnade. Timely Reinforcements is not bad. Let's go Waif into an Alpine Moon here. And name a Celestial Colonnade. So that way it can't be a flying attacker coming in on us. Terminus for Miracle cost. Oh my goodness. Of course you would have that. Why wouldn't you? Let's go for a Mayor. And it gets Spell Snared. Okay. 3 cards in hand for the opponent. Jace the Mind Sculptor coming in. We're just going to bolt the Jace. Bolt the Jace. That's why we say we're bolts, ladies and gentlemen. In the control matchup. Glacial Fortress. Reckless Waif off the top for us. We're in a really bad situation. Of course, opponent only has 2 cards in hand drawing into the 3rd, so they're kind of in a similar way, especially because of our shutdown of Alpine Moon. Terminus off the top again? What is happening? What is this life? Messenger off the top for us. Let's get in for 1 if we can. Opt from the opponent. Going down to 16. See a cast out from the opponent, but it does turn on the Celestial Colonnade with a second one coming in. No attack though. Interesting. Wooded Foothills for us. Into a mountain. Let's get in for 2. 2 with Menace, of course. 0 cards in hand. If we hit our other Alpine Moon, we're set. Let's see what happens. We're so close here. Here come the Colonnades. We're both in top deck mode, which is exactly where we want to be against a control deck. But they're doing 4 points of damage per turn, and we're probably dead. So, Colonnade once again. Down to 9. We got Captive here. Not fast enough, though. Let's see. They're down to 10. Down to 9 thanks to Flooded Strand. 1 card in hand. Oh, what do they have? If it's a land... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's a Snapcaster. You gonna path something? Looks like it, yep. Gonna path our Captive there. Getting in for 4. They're at the 5-minute mark. We have 5 life left, and that's probably gonna do it there. There's the Waif off the top end. We're just out of gas though. So close, so close. Alright guys, you saw the deck tech, you saw the matches. Let me know what you think of in the comments down below. Again, this is a deck that's not necessarily a ridiculously powerful deck. It's definitely a deck that's like, you definitely need a great hand to kind of continue moving on throughout the course of the match. It's one of those decks it has some longevity in the mid to late game, but if opponent has a lot of removal or if they have a really big value creature over and over again, it's kind of a deck that just kind of, you know, bends to that, which is really kind of depressing. And I wish we would return to Innistrad one more time in the near future and give us some more Werewolves. Would really love to kind of make this a huge deck for us in Modern, but it's just not there yet. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Like it, of course, if you like it. Subscribe to the channel. And catch me on Twitch Monday through Thursdays, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll put that on the screen here and, of course, in the comments down below. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.